Yo, what's up? It's your boy Currency 365. Hope you guys are doing well. Legends never die. They stay in our hearts. If you want to support us, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also you can come down here and hit the join button under the video or in our channel section. And you can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/currency365. And we also have Cash App and also PayPal for support if you want to sow some seeds. Peace out. God bless. Enjoy the video and keep the movement going. Legends. Bye.
Greetings, everyone. The title of this video is going to be TikTok ban HR 7521 with their not telling you ? I know I started a little bit early. I just wanted to come before you all briefly and explain to you all what's really going on with their not telling you about this so-called TikTok ban. It's also called this. It's a House resolution bill that was just passed called HR 7521, Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act. That's what it's actually called. Why you're wondering, why are they actually calling it a TikTok ban? It's a good question. But as usual, before we get started, this video is going to be for educational, entertainment purposes only. Please understand that everyone's individual circumstance or situation may be different. It's up to every individual competent person to please do his or her own homework and research into the matter being discussed. This information is not to be construed as legal advice. In any event you feel you need to seek a competent professional, it is encouraged that you do so at one's own leisure. Any images or pictures shown are being utilized under the Fair Use Act. When there's critique, news reporting, criticism, that is allowed. Look up the Fair Use Act. If you have any disagreements, please keep in mind these are simply my opinions on the matter. All rights are reserved. Now, let's get into this. Again, the title of this video was going to be TikTok ban HR 7521. I had in the title what they're not telling you ? The actual title of this bill was just recently passed by the House of Representatives. It still has to get signed. It has to get passed by the Senate, and then it has to get signed by the current president, whoever will become the president, because I've heard rumors that Biden will be potentially replaced, allegedly, at the Democratic National Convention. I've heard alleged rumors that says Michelle Obama or Hillary Clinton will be the front runner, even though I've heard Michelle Obama say she doesn't want to run for president. But I hear that they're plotting to replace Biden. I've even heard, allegedly Gavin Newsom. There's talk with his name, by the way, out of California. But again, to stay on topic, because I don't want to deviate, the main meat and potatoes is let you guys know what's really going on. It's called HR 7521, Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Control Applications Act. And once again, it passed the House. It still has to get passed by the Senate. Then it has to get signed by the president to become lawful. So just keep that in mind. It's not implemented yet. So there's nothing immediately to be worried about. But I definitely feel a lot of you all's concern. But here's what's going on. The Republicans, a lot of them, they voted yes. Majority of Democrats voted yes on this. And some may be wondering, I'm going to break down. Here's what's really happening behind the scenes. This is the 411. Here's what's being plotted behind the scenes. Democrats are claiming, and I want to say, first of all, I'm not a registered voter. I canceled my voter registration back in 2024. So technically I'm apolitical. This is what they call nonpartisan. By the way, I'm politically neutral. Despite, even if I lean to either side, I'm not participating in the upcoming election. I have not participated in any election since 2004. So this video is very fair and unbiased, and it's just information that I've received. A lot of you all, the average people and the general public, may not be aware of. So here's what's being plotted on behind the scenes. Democrats are claiming, making a setup just in case Trump wins the 2024 election. And I think he would win, in my opinion, in a massive landslide or massive numbers. if it is a fair election. If a fair election is being held, I think he would win in a landslide. But I don't, in my opinion, I don't know. I can't call that. But they're setting the plot up, and this was already done before with Facebook, by the way. If you guys remember that, because here's what they're building up a claim, a narrative in the media. They're going to say, and they already started saying this about TikTok, that China and Russia meddle in our elections. So they're propping TikTok up to blame. It's actually, the bill is actually called HR 7521. So why do people keep calling it the TikTok ban? It actually includes in this bill, I heard it's a lot of pages that includes taking away freedom of speech, which is in the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights, supposed to be constitutionally protected. There's a constitutional overreach. This bill would allow, if it was passed completely, would allow surveillance from big tech government. And I'm going to get to that later. Just to give you guys, without going into, reading the bill or boring you all with the legal jargon, to sum up, this is what's being plotted on. And this is mainly, it's actually coming from higher up. I was going to say the Democrats are being used, and I know some always argue, well, Republicans are being used, and they're tricked. And actually, in actuality, a lot of people don't understand it. So to confuse you, they're calling this a TikTok ban. But keep in mind, to read the actual bill, it's called HR 7521, by the way. And this would apply to other social medias, not just TikTok, but they're using TikTok as a scapegoat front because it's not American owned. And no need to go into all that. Many of you all know what's going on, the story with that. But the Democrats are claiming, they're making a setup that just in case Trump wins the 2024 election, which I think, in my opinion, he would win in massive numbers if it would be a fair election, but that remains to be seen. They're going to say that China and Russia meddle with our elections. So they're propping TikTok up to blame as the reason why Biden lost, or whoever the Democrats choose at the convention to be their front runner to go head to head versus Trump. This is what I've been hearing allegedly talks about. Once again, I heard they're saying that Michelle Obama or Hillary Clinton or Gavin Newsom could be chosen, by the way, and that Biden would step down. This remains to be seen, but this is all part of this. I can say from now that this TikTok ban is a cover. This is a cover to end freedom of speech and allow unconstitutional government surveillance, to sum it up. And they are going to blame foreign interference with our elections if Trump does win. Like I said, I think he would in a massive landslide, because that's what they're saying. The polling numbers, if you've been keeping up, in Democrats, they're very concerned about this. And I want to say, once again, I'm not a registered voter. I'm apolitical. I'm what they call nonpartisan, technically. So just keep in mind, I'm just giving my opinion, what I've thoroughly researched. I'm very well studied. I do investigative research behind the scenes. I saw this take place before, which I'm going to reference, by the way, but I didn't want this video to be that long, by the way. So I'm just going over the information I have. So once again, this TikTok ban, it's a cover. It's actually a bill. Look up a bill, House resolution that was just passed by the House of Representatives, called HR 7521. So you got to look at the overlay for the underlay. Why are they focusing, on TikTok when it's actually a cover to end freedom of speech and allow unconstitutional government surveillance? So they're going to blame, their goal or their plan as they're making this plot in case Trump wins is to blame foreign interference with our elections. This is why they're propping TikTok up, because it's foreign owned. It's owned by the Chinese, and they're saying to make it owned by the U.S. But whoever, if it's turned or becomes U.S. controlled, then it's going to become a censorship, like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. That's what it's going to turn into. So that's the overlay for the underlay. That's part of the dog and pony show people are not getting. They did this with Facebook after Hillary's 2016 loss. Remember, she even blamed one of the reasons why she lost on Facebook. You guys remember Cambridge Analytica, that whole scandal with Mark Zuckerberg, Mark Z, and all of that. I have a good memory, so you guys can go back and look that up. That's why one of the reasons they were sued, they had to rebrand. That's all overlay for the underlay. And these platforms, there's a lot to unpack. TikTok is also, there's a lot of good information on there that is not controllable, if you know what I mean, by the way. And the main goal, and this is coming real high up from Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum, they want to ban freedom of speech worldwide altogether. See, we're one of the last countries that has a constitution. I was speaking with my friend's wife. I won't say which country she's from. I started to, but even she acknowledged that there's the way our constitution is here in this country. She was explaining how it is like with her part of the world. It's not anywhere near like it is over here. We still have, despite what's happening, we have our problems, but we have a lot more freedoms than other parts of the world. And where she explained where she's from, which I'm not saying, I'll just refer to as the continent, that some, in the conscious community would know I'm talking about, but I didn't say which specific country or region over there. But definitely my friend visited over there. He described it, it was a very, very controlled, different environment than over here. So she was able to recognize that. That's why I told that story real quick. So here's the thing. The Democratic Party is the party for censorship. The Democratic Party is the party that wants to ban freedom of speech more so than Republicans. At least they have a freedom caucus, even though they have their problems as well. They have a form of the deep state through neoconservatives who are not really conservatives, and also rhinos, which stand for Republican in name only. They're like work with Democrats that are Democrats in the closet. So yeah, I get there's part of their parties two heads of the same snake, but there's, unlike when I was having a debate with the relative, unlike Democrats, they don't have anything like this. The only closest thing they had was Robert Kennedy, and he was running as an independent. And you see where that's going. I don't know, but it's not to the level where there's actively people. So the Republican, we are a nation, we are a republic, which is like in the Pledge of Allegiance of the flag, when you understand the difference between the two, between the democracy. Republicans, their party, I've said in the past, they more so support the family structure, the organic family, and things of that sort. It's the Democratic Party, liberal, progressive party that's pushing all these agendas. No need to go into what those are. You guys know, what those things are. But the main title and dealing with this video was the TikTok ban, HR 7521, what they're not telling you. And I'm going over, and here's the proof. You look at they YouTube, which is liberal, progressive control. They banned Alex Jones. They banned Laura Loomer. They banned Marjorie Taylor Greene's speech. Remember when, and there's many countless others, by the way, that were big content creators, influencers that have been censored. Even myself with this channel, by the way, you look at my smaller channel that I had, and also more evidence. Remember when Elon Musk released the Twitter files that show hardcore evidence where they censor influencers whose speech did not fit the narrative? They even show how the Democratic Party even colluded with big tech companies illegally, how they did things to manipulate the algorithm to suppress viewership, and followers. So the Democratic Party has been caught red-handed banning the speech of countless Americans, even for what they said about COVID. You guys remember that? Remember, I had videos where they didn't like what you said about the vaccine. Boom, you're getting the email, video taken down. Remember what they were bullying, what they said about if you said anything about the stolen election from 2020. So they've shown time and time again, it's mainly come from the Democratic Party. They ban speech when they don't like it, they don't agree with it, and it's not the speech that they want to hear. It's not the speech that fits their narrative. They are the main political party who wants to ban it. So I see a lot of people jumping on board, and I know people are going to say, "Oh, Dorsey, didn't a lot of Republicans sign this legislation, this bill?" But there are some that knows the truth, like Rand Paul, many others, Marjorie Taylor Greene, that have read, that saw what is in this bill. And that's disingenuous to call it a TikTok ban, and they're not telling you it's a House Resolution 7521. That's the actual term for the bill. And it goes over again to sum it up for you. You can pull it up and read it if you can at your leisure. Do your research. That's why I give it my disclaimer. But this is a cover to end freedom of speech and allow unconstitutional surveillance and other things that are already going on in communist countries that have been taken over, like North Korea, for example. China, I found out both of those countries actually have camps where they disappear people. Look at if you know about the Uyghur community. So this is what this is actually about, and I just wanted to give my weigh in on this. I know this has been in the news very heavily. I know you guys haven't heard from me in a while, and it's stuff like this that irks me, that this is really disingenuous calling this the TikTok ban when this is actually a bill that was passed, and they're trying to push it through the Senate because it did just pass the House. But a lot of Republicans are tricked into this not understanding, so they focus on TikTok when in actuality, and they're saying how Trump flipped the script, but he's saying it would give Facebook, prop them on a pedestal. But it's more to it that meets the eye. You have to read the bill itself to understand. I just gave you guys a sum up without boring you all, for you guys to do your own homework. Don't take my word for what I say. I'm so confident in what I'm sharing with you all that this is unequivocal evidence. I went over unequivocal verbal proof that you can research, by the way. And I focused on the Democratic Party, and they did this back in 2016. Remember when Hillary Clinton lost, and they were blaming, saying it was Russian interference. By the way, that was one example. And then what's interesting is they have a war against going on with, of course, obviously Ukraine, Russia, United States is allies with Ukraine, and then and if you know about what's going over there with China and everything. So they're also building up another narrative. It's a lot to unpack when you look at it from that angle as well, that there's other countries and stuff that don't like us for various reasons. But this is also coming from real high up. The World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab talked about he wanted to get rid of freedom of speech. Remember, he said he wanted people trusting the mainstream media. He didn't want people getting their news from independent media. Remember that? If you guys have your eyeglasses on, if you guys pay attention to the independent media, that's why I always share band.video or Brighteon.com, or tell you guys to get on Rumble or other platforms that are more friendly to freedom of speech. Yeah, some of those platforms may not be perfect. Come on now, it's people that nitpick everything. I get that. But I was telling a friend of mine, but Rumble is damn sure more friendly freedom of speech than YouTube, by the way. People hate it when people call me right when I'm shooting a video. I had to call that person back. By the way, but hey, it is for what it is. So I'm not going to bore you all. I just wanted to give you all a weigh in what's going on. I'm going to read you guys' comments, and I'm going to get out of here. Steve Stein says, good afternoon, Dorsey and all. Thank you, Steve, for joining. Great. Parrot says, are you a new ager? No, define what new ager is. What's the definition? I have, my own idea, and I've said in the past that I'm not new age or anything, but define what that is, because if I was, then I would be able to tell you what it is if I was new age. But Great Parrot says, like Oprah. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that. Timothy Michael says, hey y'all, greetings. Well, thank you all for joining. That's my time. I just wanted to go over once again. The title of this video was called TikTok ban HR 7521. What they're not telling you about? ? Something to that effect. Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Control Applications Act. It passed the House, however, it has to pass the Senate. Then it has to be signed by the current president, whoever is chosen to be. Because I hear the Democrats are plotting to get rid of Biden and bring Hillary, Michelle Obama, or Gavin Newsom, or whoever will be chosen at their Democratic National Convention to be the front runner. But so they're building up a claim once again to give you guys a sum up before I shut the video down, that in case Trump was to win the 2024 election, then they would blame this on Russian interference, and TikTok would be used. Say they would be just like Facebook was blamed in 2016. One of the reasons why Hillary lost, and they were even blaming YouTube, by the way. And then you saw the censorship that came, and YouTube showed you politically what side that they're on when they censored mostly conservatives and people's speech that didn't fit their narrative, or conservative-leaning people, or people that promoted freedom of speech and things of that sort. So YouTube already shows you up front, so that's why their name wasn't mentioned as much. But they're using TikTok as a front to blame as the reason why Biden lost the election, or whoever the Democrats choose at the convention to be the front runner to go head-to-head versus Trump. So that's my time, folks. That's my time, guys. I just want to let you guys know what the overlay for the underlay is. Don't fall for the dog and pony show. Until next time, you want to follow me on social media, check the description box of my previous videos. You want to follow me on Twitter at Dorsey's Resource. I'm on Truth Social at Dorsey's Resource as well. Like, let's get on Rumble, guys. Protect freedom of speech, and may the force be with everyone. May the force be with you all. Until next time, Amitofo, Jai Jin. I'm out.